So tell us a little bit about the birth of Harry the Hawk and the Woodland Tales.
Oh, Harry the Hawk's been with me for a long time. And the Woodland, I told stories I told my children and brought Harry the Hawk into it. When I was a little boy, I used to spend a lot of time lying in the grass, looking up at the clouds, and I'd see pictures of animals and things, and I'd see pirates, I'd see robbers, and I'd see cops, and I'd see horses, and all the things that I really liked and thought about as a little boy. And I just looked at the clouds and dreamt of those. And my big red dog, Mike the Irish Setter, always lay by my side, and he always liked to chase rabbits. And every time I look up in the clouds and see Mike chase a rabbit, I would say, "Good dog," and Mike would lick my face, and I'd giggle a little bit because it tickled so much. And one day, I was lying on the ground looking up at the clouds. I saw this big shadow come over, and the big shadow landed in a tree just above me, and I looked up, and it was a big bird. I didn't know whether it was an eagle or a vulture coming to get me, or a hawk or whatever, and I ran in the house. I was scared, and my mother ran out, and she said, "That is a red-tailed hawk." I said, "That looks like the hawks that Granddad calls a chicken hawk." She said, "Well, they do mess with the chickens sometimes." But anyway, just as we said that, it flew off, and its tail was bright red. And she said, "That's the red-tailed hawk. That's the red tail." I said, "Bye, Harry the Hawk." And ever since then, I've been thinking about that hawk, and I applied it to the stories that I told my children.
Well, then, where did your inspiration come for some of the other characters?
Oh, just mainly from the people I know and experiences I had. But every character that's in those stories is probably based on a personality that I've met somewhere along the way.
What about themes for your stories? What would inspire your themes?
Well, just sort of telling as you go along and what happened that day, or what my children were talking about, or what I was thinking about. There's no definite, direct inspiration of one life experience. It's just a conglomeration of life experiences.
Who are some of your favorite characters?
Oh, I like them all. I like the varmints in Varmint Hollow are fun to do because I directly relate those to people. And Jack, an example like Jack the Eagle, is after my grandson Jack because we talk about him soaring the heights unmentionably all the time, and just different things that run through my mind.
Well, what are some favorite stories that stick out, or favorite times telling the stories throughout the years?
Well, I like the. I don't have any really one favorite because the ones I don't like, I don't write down. I'm writing these stories down because of my daughters like the stories, and I've told them to my grandchildren, and my grandchildren like the stories. So I just write them down. If I don't like them, I throw them away. But I like the different characters. I think of, like Lobo the Hobo is a big, vicious-looking wolf, and he was born in Texas, and his mother had so many wolves in that litter that she got her friend Chihuahua to raise Lobo. And because he was always around Chihuahuas, he had a high voice. He never developed the vicious wolf's roar. And because he had this high voice, his mother enrolled him in the Vienna Choir Boys. And he never made the Vienna Choir Boys, but he had a voice. And when they toured to Texas a couple of times, he got to sing with them. But again, he could never change his voice. But they're the inspirations for this. And also, the ice cream eating bear. The poor bear got kicked out of the cave because he was allergic to honey. Honey made him itch, and the bears always hibernated. Before they hibernated, they loaded up with honey, and he tried to do that, and he ended up walking around scratching himself and kept the other bears awake all winter, so they threw him out. And he just happened to he was walking along the road, famished, and this carload of kids went by, and one threw a paper out the window, and he grabbed it, and he smelled it. It smelled good, and he licked it, and it was ice cream, and it was all over. after then, he learned how to make his own ice cream and found a place in the woodland and
So,
fattened up the animals on ice cream.
so would you say that's a theme of the woodland, is where animals can go if
Oh,
they've
the
been-
whole theme of the woodland is to live in peace. You know, it starts out with Harry. Harry was hunting for vermin along the side of the road and got clipped by an 18-wheeler and was taken to the Birds of Prey Center and went through a long process during his recovery period and decided he didn't want the rat race of hunting for rodents and snakes all of his life, so he kept flying until he found this peaceful place called the woodland where he settled down. And he had trouble getting in at first because all the animals were scared of a big hungry looking hawk that looked like he wanted to eat them, because there are a lot of, you know, there's squirrels and rabbits and whatnot around.